I'm not a cow, bitch. Vote. Open. Listen, I'm gonna make you sweat, make you drench, make you wet, wet, wet. I'm gonna make you scared, little baby, pissing in your vessel pressure.
Vault unlocked.
So 2018, when my husband and I first separated, once we got back together, I ended up getting pregnant. Honestly, it wasn't really the best time because we were trying to work on our marriage, rekindle our intimacy, and now we have to also worry about having another baby. So we tried to make it work and just focus on ourselves. But honestly, me being pregnant and my husband was trying to work through things in his own feelings. And he kind of got to a place where he was like, look, it's too little too late. And he let me know, like, look, I just can't do this anymore. First sonogram that I got, I sent it to my husband and he didn't even respond. Like, that's how clocked out he was of our relationship. And it wasn't until I want to say like a month or two, maybe 3 months later, that I found out that he was talking to someone at his job and they were in a relationship. For the whole duration of my pregnancy, he is with that woman and we have not communicated at all. No calls, no texts. He doesn't know anything about the baby. I don't know what's going on outside of like when I have conversations with his mom and his mom is kind of telling me things. I'm believing that God is going to restore us, that he's going to change things around. And it was hard because I'm pregnant, I'm hormonal, and I love his mom, but there were even moments where talking to his mom was kind of detrimental for me because she would tell me things like, oh, they're having fun and they really like each other. So in my mind, I'm thinking he's in love with her and this is it. Like, our marriage is over. And I want to also say that throughout this time, even though I wasn't talking to my husband, the Holy Spirit would tell me a lot of things. Like, sometimes I would have dreams about my husband and the Lord would just speak to me through scripture. And there were times where God would give me dreams or give me scripture, and then his mom would end up telling me something that confirmed exactly what God would tell me. So even though one part of me thought, okay, our marriage is over and he wants this other woman, I also knew that the truth of the matter was their relationship was very toxic. So fast forward now, I'm at the end of my pregnancy, and one night I'm watching this prophetic video. And at the time, I didn't really like prophetic videos too much. I was very aware that some of these prophets are false. So I didn't really take a lot of these videos too seriously. But this night, one of the videos, they were talking about that God was going to do something in 3 days. For some reason, it stuck with me and I took mental note, okay, 3 days, something is going to happen. So the third day comes and I'm eating my bowl of cereal at night like I normally did. It was like 11 o'clock and I'm getting ready to get into bed and I lift my leg up to get into the bed and I felt like this sharp pain, in my abdomen area. I get up and I walk to the bathroom. I go sit down and a gush of water comes out. My water breaks. So I'm sitting on the toilet. I'm calling out to my mom. She comes running out. Her first thing is, well, I'm going to go tell Donnie. And in my mind, I'm like, do not call this man. We have not talked in all the time that I've been pregnant. He's probably not going to show up. He wants nothing to do with us. She decides to go ahead and call my husband anyway. So now I'm on the toilet trying to figure out how I'm going to get up and, get downstairs. I'm leaking everywhere. I'm worried about what is my husband going to think. I don't want him to think that I'm pressuring him to be there. And my mom is real adamant and I'm nervous because my first son was an emergency C-section. So I've never had to push a baby out. There was a lot going on in my mind. My mom wakes my dad up to let him know that I'm in labor right now. And she grabs my hospital bag up. We walk outside to go put the stuff in the car. And I look out into the street and I see my husband's car is parked there. So I see my husband standing out there. I get on my dad's van and we head to the hospital. Whole time we're on the way to the hospital, I keep looking back in the rearview mirror and seeing my husband just keeping up with my dad. So I get to the emergency room, they put us in a wheelchair, and now we're just waiting for them to bring me into a room. So as I'm sitting there, my husband is there with us, but we're not saying a word to each other. So I changed into the gown and things like that. Once I changed into the gown, they basically allowed me to walk through the hallways to kind of make the labor progress. As I'm walking in the hallways, my mom is behind me and my husband is sitting on a chair. They had some chairs up against the wall and he's knocked out because he was working overnight job. Mind you, it is 11 o'clock, so he's literally snoring out loud. I'm walking, contractions are coming on strong. So we finally get back to the room. My husband is also sitting in the room and my mom is there with me and I'm still walking around because now I'm the contractions are hitting real bad. So I'm like, where's the epidural? Now I'm sitting on the hospital bed about to get the epidural and they tell you don't move because it could hit a nerve or something like that. And the doctor ends up telling my husband, oh, come and hold her. This doctor doesn't know how my husband and I are, that we haven't talked. So my husband comes over and he just holds on to me. And y'all, I swear, when he put his hands on me, it brought me so much peace. I felt so much more comfortable. It was once I get the epidural, I'm just laying there. My husband is still there. He's still sitting in that chair. We're not talking. My mom is not really talking to me. And we're just waiting for my cervix to dilate even more. After about an hour, my cervix is dilated completely and I end up starting to push. So I push, the baby comes out. Y'all, I have no idea what's going on with my husband or my mom or anybody. I'm I'm just tired. Fast forward now, they move us to the room after you give birth. I forget what the room is called. And my mom ends up leaving. My husband ends up leaving. So I never get to tell him, like, I want you to stay. We had zero conversation. My mom ends up FaceTiming me and basically just trying to say goodnight for the night because she knew, like, nobody was coming back. And I wasn't expecting anybody to. So here I am preparing to be with my baby by myself for the first night. And mentally, I was ready. I was like, all right, this is just what it is. So I turned the TV on. I'm laying in the bed watching the TV and I hear a knock at the door. I'm thinking it's the nurse because y'all know when you have babies, the nurses are coming in and out constantly all day. And there is a curtain right in front of the door. So the person opens the door and walks in. I still can't see them until they pull the curtain back. They pull the curtain back and it's my husband, y'all. And not only is it just him, he has a bouquet of flowers in his hand. So I am completely shocked. He walks in, he sits on the bed in front of me, and for like 30 seconds, we're just looking at each other, just silent. He hands me the flowers, I take them, I put them on the table, and we're back to silence again. So he starts to talk to me. I remember specifically what he said he was doing before he had got to the hospital. So he said he was in the shower, and he was on his way to go be with the woman that he was with, and he said something in him was telling him, I don't want to go be with her, I want to go be with my wife, I want to go be with Zaisha. He said he called his mom and told his mom how he felt, and his mom said, well, then go be with your wife. So he said he got out of the shower, went to go grab some flowers, and came to me. And right after that conversation, it was like nothing had ever happened. It was like we were not separated. It was like we hadn't stopped talking. He ended up picking up the baby and sitting next to me, and he was trying to help me breastfeed, y'all. And all I could think about was the prophetic word that I saw, that in 3 days something was going to happen. And on the third day, that is exactly what happened. The next day we get up and we're sitting in the hospital bed, and it's like kind of early in the day, and my husband is sitting next to me and he's on his phone, and I notice that her name pops up on the screen. I don't tell him that I noticed this. I just take note of it, and I'm kind of discouraged, but I'm like, you know, whatever, I'm gonna let it go. So the next day we spend the whole day at the hospital because our son had jaundice, and then they finally let us go towards the end of the day. So he drives us back to my mom's house and he ends up leaving. I'm thinking that, okay, this is it. Like, everything's okay. He's going to stop talking to this woman. And no, that is not what happened. I want to say for the next couple of weeks, I honestly can't remember how long it was, but there were moments where he would show up to spend time with me and the baby and to see, you know, our oldest son. And then he would go and leave to go be with her. And I specifically remember one time we're all laying in the bed together, and it just felt so comfortable. It felt so right. And he ends up getting a call, and I knew that it was her. And as soon as he got off the phone, he was like, I gotta go. I was so discouraged that at one point I sent him a text, and I basically was like, you win. Like, we can get a divorce. I'm not fighting for this anymore. I remember he texted me and was like, okay, Zaisha. Just very upset. But God used my text message and he turned it all around for our good. I tell my husband, you win, we can get a divorce. He's upset. I don't understand why. And a couple of days later, he reaches out to me and says, hey, I want to come get our oldest son to bring him with me to my mom's house to spend time with my family. And I was like, okay, great. And yes, I was kind of worried that he would be around that other woman because I didn't want my son to be around her. I didn't really know her like that, but I put my trust in God, and I believe that, look, if anything is going to happen that is not going to benefit my son, I know that you would stop it and you're not going to allow it. So I'm going to just trust you. So later that evening, I'm watching a video again on YouTube, this woman that I trust, and she's talking about what it's like when you are married and separated and what you're supposed to be like when your husband comes back. Basically being like the prodigal son's father and just having open arms. She was saying that we need to be compassionate and showing mercy and being gracious, and I knew all of that, but as I'm listening to it, I hear the Holy Spirit tell me, when he comes back, give him a hug. I'm terrified, y'all. I'm terrified because, again, we're not on that type of time. We have not physically touched each other since he was in the hospital with me, holding me for the epidural. But again, I was very obedient to the Lord. Whatever the Lord needed me to do, I was going to do it. No shame, no pride. So my husband gets here and he walks in the door, puts my son's stuff in, bring my son upstairs, and he's still downstairs waiting. So I walk back down the steps and he's getting ready to leave, and I just hug him. I just wrap my arms around him and I hold him, and he's just holding on tight. He doesn't even let go. And as I'm holding him, I can feel that he needed it. I just knew that he needed it. And he says to me, well, what is this for? And I was like, oh, nothing. Like, I just feel like you needed it. I just feel like you needed a hug. He's like, okay, well, thanks. You know, upstairs, I call his mom, like, he just came over. I gave him a hug. Like, he didn't fight it. Like, I feel like he needed it. And she was like, tell him to come back. And I'm like, okay, like, why not? My mother-in-law lives 30 minutes away, and that's where my husband was living at the time. So he had to drive 30 minutes from my house to get to his mom's. So I hurry up and I text him. I'm like, hey, can you come back? Like, can you stay here? And he's like, I'm already home. So I'm thinking the conversation is going to end, but he continues to text me and tells me that he's had dreams about me and he's just been feeling all these things. And I'm like, okay, great. Like, what are the dreams? Like, how do you feel about it? And he's just kind of speaking really like in a cryptic way. But again, I'm not trying to push boundaries. I really just want him to lead. And as he's sharing these dreams with me and what he feels and what he thinks it means, he ends up telling me, like, look, I want my family back. I want to be back with you guys. I need my family. And it almost felt like it was too good to be true, because I go through this situation at the hospital. I'm thinking God done it already just for him to leave the hospital, and he's still talking to this woman. And now here he is saying he wants his family. So he tells me that he's going to come over tomorrow. The next day comes and I'm waiting for him hours long, and I don't know where he's at. I'm texting him. He's not responding. So he finally gets to my mom's house, and he admits that he had been over at the other woman's house because he felt like he needed to give her closure, because he had ended their relationship abruptly and he knew that she was feeling some type of way. Now, in my mind, I'm like, she don't need no closure. I'm your wife. But I also understood that they had been together for almost 9 months. And so there was still something there. And after that, we laid in that bed. I laid on his chest, and he just told me how much he missed us and how much he loves me. And he kind of just poured his heart out to me. And I started to tell him all the different things that God told me, all the things God shared with me about us and being restored, and how God had even used my son one time. And he's just laying there, and I don't know what he was thinking. I should ask him one day, but he was kind of laying there like, okay, whatever. But I could tell he was at peace just being with his family. Now I was in a place where I realized we were restored, and I think that I was moving a little too fast, because I was like, let's go on dates, let's go to the movies, and he wasn't ready. And so he ended up telling me one time, like, Zay, it's too soon for this. Like, I can't just pretend like I'm still not feeling some type of way about you. I can't pretend that I'm not like grieving this other woman. Like, I just need some time. So a week goes by where we do not talk at all. And at the end of that week, he sends me a message and says, I think we should be friends. And y'all, I almost lost it. I'm like, ain't no way I'm going to be right back in this place where this man just wants to be friends. So I texted him. I said, you only want to be friends? He's like, no, dummy. I want us to rebuild our friendship. I want us to start being friends again. And y'all, we've been together ever since. And no, it hasn't been easy. There's been a lot of warfare, a lot of forgiveness. There's been a lot that has gone into both he and I growing and being where we are right now. And it even was at the point where he was explaining to me, you know, what that relationship was like for him and what they went through and how much they argued and how much they fought. And it was just very, very toxic. And so I pray that y'all hearing this, I know it's crazy, but just understanding how good God is and how faithful God is, because 6 years now, I'm not worried about that woman. I trust him. I don't think about her like I used to. It doesn't bother me anymore, because I know where God has brought us from and where we are at now. So God bless y'all. Those of you that are still standing for your marriages, I'm praying that you just keep the faith and you keep trusting in God, because he can do it.
There is a married lady on this app that has begged and prayed to the Lord Father above to bring her cheating, no good for nothing husband back to her after he done dipped on her entire pregnancy for 9 months, sent him a sonogram, and the man didn't even respond. There is a woman on this app that is literally telling y'all that a man can leave you dry and high with kids and a pregnant belly for 9 months. And if God says that he is for you, he is for you. There is a woman on this app defending her man to the core. And this is coming from a married woman herself. If that woman ain't teach y'all nothing, let her teach you this. Y'all need to learn how to love yourselves way more than anybody in this earth walking, because there is no reason for anyone to ever put up with that type of foolery, that type of witchcraft, and think that it is of the Lord, because it is not. That is the devil's work. And I'm not saying that people are not perfect, because nobody on this earth is perfect. But if a man leaves you during your pregnancy for 9 months to go be with a mistress, and you think that is of the Lord, I'm here to tell you right now, in the name of the Father and the Son, he said stop playing with his name, because y'all too quick to throw God in y'all mess, and it ain't God. So the most that y'all can do for that woman right now is to block her.
I saw the video where the girl said God restored her marriage, and the first thing I'm going to say, in sake of everyone who's religious, because like I understand, like, okay, you have these beliefs, sure, but honestly, if someone does all that to you, they can go find God and be a better person without doing it to your expense. They don't have to be with you to be a better person, and you don't have to be with them for them to be a better person, or to show that you forgave them, or to show that you believed in God. I don't know what that crazy like ideology is that, oh, you have to tolerate the things that people have done to you. Like, no, you can forgive someone and not be around them.
I'm really just trying to figure out what was the reason of telling us a story about how God restored your marriage when you were just a big dummy the entire time.
Every time you see a Christian couple come out to talk about how God helped them overcome challenges in their marriage and restore it, someone cheated. And we all know who did. However, that restoration Is her swallowing everything. In the name of God has called him back to his household. Who called him for outside where he answered before?
God got to be tired of y'all giving him credit on stuff that he ain't got nothing to do with. He gave y'all free will. That's where it stopped. That's where it ended. You have the free will to do whatever you want with your life. Therefore, no matter whether or not the decisions you making are positive or negative, that's on you. You made that decision. You taking a man back who abandoned you while you was pregnant and ran off with another woman and talking about God restored your marriage? No. You were desperate and pathetic and you stayed in a marriage that you shouldn't have. Don't put that on him. It ain't no different when girls be going out here and having unprotected sex with men who don't like them, don't want them, and don't want no baby with them. And then when they get pregnant and they keep it, they'll be somewhere talking about that was God's plan. You know, that's a blessing from God. No, that is a decision that you made. You had a decision at every point. You had a decision to make that man wear a condom. You could have been on contraceptives. You didn't have to keep the child. There was a lot of different choices along the way, and you made your final decision, and you ended up with a child. That's it. That's all. Don't try to put that on the Lord.
Yes, I understand that the Bible says that the grounds for divorce is adultery.
Abantu bayakhala ngikhala ngiyi-one angikhala ngiyi-one sikhala sibaningi sikhala sibaningi sikhala sibaningi nangumngani wami ngabe uyakhala.
Hello, what is up, you dazzling diamonds and the others? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Linda Kyle, and this is The Vault. Anyway, you guys, let's jump straight into this video. Alrighty then, you guys. If you guys haven't already, please do like, share, and subscribe to my channel. And if you guys do enjoy my videos, please do click on that thank you button, right? There's a lady on TikTok that has been trending, right? And now she has been trending because she says that God returned her cheating husband back to her and restored her marriage. Right? Now, this lady is, in my opinion, and no disrespect to her, very, very delusional. Ma'am, when she found out that she's pregnant, she also found out that her husband was cheating on her with a colleague. And then the husband decides to be with that colleague for the duration of this lady's pregnancy. 9 months is a long time to go through a pregnancy by yourself. And in that time, she was speaking to the mother-in-law. These people were still married. She was speaking to the mother-in-law, and the mother-in-law was telling her how happy the son is with this new lady and that they're having fun. And the day that her water breaks, her mom is like, let me call the baby daddy. And then she was like, she is scared that he's going to think that she's desperate. 1. And 2, she doesn't think he's going to come. The mom calls the baby daddy anyway, and he rocks up as they're leaving the house. And now they are working and restoring their marriage. And she says that God did that. God says that infidelity is a sin. That guy cheated on you while you were pregnant for 9 months. He left you. His mother was telling you how much fun he's having with his mistress. Now that you've given birth, he comes back. That guy's a narcissist. And he's using you. There's a lot of men out there that will dip when their chick is pregnant. And then when she delivers, they come back. They're narcissists. He's using you. And he's going to cheat again. You see, when it's like that, he's definitely going to cheat again. If you have more kids, he's going to cheat on you while you're pregnant again and leave you. And the only reason why he came back is not because God is restoring your marriage. He came back because now he's done with the other lady. It's been 9 months of fun for him. Now he's coming home. Now you're going to be normal again. Some men, they don't value or appreciate their woman, especially when they're pregnant. They don't think it's a beautiful thing. They think it's gross. They think now, oh, you're somebody's mother. But he put those babies inside of you. And then you take him back. After you were all alone, going through all of that, craving stuff at 2 a.m. Nobody's there to help you. Nobody's there to rub your belly and tell you everything's going to be okay. He came back not because, he loves that baby. He was probably even planning to come back after the birth. And he's happy that your mother called him. Now he's going to look like, he's changed. He hasn't changed. And then maybe God gave you that 9 months of separation from this guy because he knew that this guy is going to destroy your life. You had time to get over that man. I believe that God, when God says that divorce is a sin and that you shouldn't remarry unless your husband or wife passes away. Otherwise, in God's eyes, you're still married to that person. But isn't it, guys, that God makes an exception for people that are actually trying to destroy you? Or people that have demons and are there to kill you, basically. He will remove you from those situations. Even if you made a mistake by marrying that person and even having kids with that person, you are following God's way by being a faithful wife. You are doing the right thing. But then somewhere along the line, your partner decides to do this thing to you like this. He basically abandoned you and your child. You are baking that child. You should not be stressed. He didn't mind to stress you out. And then his fucking weird mother calls you and says, he's having so much fun, a great time. That is so weird to me. Even that mother of his is a narcissist. Why Nasakuzi her son? And tell him to do right by you. Or what, he just needs a break? Nobody gets a break from life or their family. How can a man get a break? And you don't. And then most of these men, they're so selfish. They always get a chance to get a break. They will leave you with your kids to go have a nice time. Or they leave every single weekend while you carry the load. Then they come back to tell you that, I'm so stressed. That's my way of de-stressing. No, you're a selfish motherfucker. And you're immature. And your time is coming. Because that lady's going to wake up eventually. If she hasn't already woken up and she's planning her departure from your life. You can go distress with your friends. Where does she go to distress? She's always at home with the kids while you go distress. You're stressed out because of your inadequacy. You are not enough or man enough. That's why you have to go in distress. Distress for 9 months. And God is restoring that. God is telling you to leave that man. He gave you a chance. He gave you a way out. Because that guy's going to do it again. When a narcissist comes back to you, they're coming to finish you off. And they are coming back with 20,000 gazillion more demons to finish you off because you're a pygmy. And you don't love yourself. Now you have a child to think about. And somebody might say it's a test from God to see if their marriage would wither and or last. I think the test was her finding out that he was cheating. And he was supposed to leave that mistress. He failed the test. That was the test. Not to see after 9 months if they'll stay together till the end of time. That is so bad. Amadoda, ayalimazana, hey? I feel so bad for this lady now. She just looks so weak. And then once you have kids, ladies, you don't have space to be weak anymore. Leave that motherfucker. Leave him. Leave him. He left you. Just leave the guy. You're going to find another guy, God willing. But now you're going to clippy him again. And you're going to be pregnant. And he's going to leave you again. Because some of these narcissists view you. They view you like a germ. And when you're pregnant, it's worse. It's worse. They are disgusted by that belly. And then they'll say to you, oh no, let's say you want to clip while you're pregnant. They say, no, I don't want to hurt the baby. They disgusted in you. They like that. Those people are dark. So I don't understand why this lady was saying God returned my cheating husband and restored my marriage. Sometimes, guys, listen to what God is actually really saying and the way that he's trying to protect you. Sure. God was testing that guy to see after confessing or after she found out about the cheaterization, was he going to do right by his wife? He failed the test because then he ran away for 9 months. And his stupid mother said, yeah, he's out there, they're having fun. Why were you still even in contact with that mother? Yeah, no, some people are dark, eh? Anyway, all the best to her and her baby. I really don't care about that man. And I wish them well. I guess maybe there are still some other lessons that God needs to show that lady about that man. But trust and believe, as stupid as it seems that she is now and a pick me, eventually all women get to that point where enough is enough. It's time to heal because you've learned all the lessons. You've felt all this pain. Maybe she's not there right now. But I hope that other women will watch these situations and see what not to do. These guys, they will put you in a mental institution. That's why if your guy's going out and doing things, just don't care. Slowly but surely, remove your feelings from that guy. Heal right under his nose and then get the fuck out of Dodge. Do it. He thinks that he can... you know what, ne? You're going to heal one day. He's going to regret it. And you must tell him, go be with those friends of yours. Go be with them. The ones that helped you to distress. Go be with them. He's going to get older and need a family. He's going to need and yearn for a family. And no one's going to be there. That's why most of these men in the old age homes, their kids don't come to see them. They have no wives. No family comes to see them. There was another one I heard of. He was dying in that old age home. And then he told the nurse, please call my son to come and see me before I die. The nurse called the son and she told him. And the son said, no, I'm not coming to see that motherfucker. And the nurse asked, okay, when he dies, because he's going to die now. Must I call you? And the son was like, yeah, just to inform me. And then she went and she told that old man. And then that man was like, but did you tell him I'm dying? And she's like, yeah. And then he's like to the nurse, tell him again. And that lady was like, no, I have seen this thing one too many times. What did you do? All those years, you were probably fucking your family around, distressing with the boys every weekend. Now you're dying, you need them. When they needed you and they just needed your fucking mere presence in the house. When you got a phone call from your friends, you jump up quickly and you're out of the door. But when you have to be at home with them, it's a stress. You have to de-stress, all these weird things. That nurse said, no, I'm not doing that. You did something. People don't just leave people to dying in old age homes. Don't be mad when nobody comes to you because you were not present when you were younger and vibrant. Men do put women in mental institutions and fuck up their own kids mentally, giving them traumas because kids watch their mothers go through a lot. But guess what? That lady will heal. Those kids will heal. You will be old one day, an old age home, and nobody's coming to see you, and it's your fault. You did it to yourself, and no one's going to feel sorry for you. Another guy was dying. This is not funny, right? Like the dying part. He had he was diabetic, and then on his deathbed, the wife, she healed. He was about to die. And the wife came to the hospital because he was like, I need to see her, please. She came beautiful. She was looking younger, fresh. And now this guy was treating her so bad for so many years. She went to the hospital with a bag of sugar. With a bag of sugar. That is funny, guys. With a bag of sugar. This guy was diabetic. Do you see? Women can heal. Stop messing with us, guys. Because at the end, you're going to be alone. Some of these ladies are beggazillaring quietly, pretending like everything's okay. She's leaving you. And you don't even know it. Think, she's not nagging anymore. Yeah, good, I can go do my things. Some of you are even cheating. She doesn't know anything. She knows everything. When your woman asks you a question, your best option is to tell the truth. She already knows the answer. Don't ask me how she knows. She knows. And even if it's a cheaterization situation, she'll still stay with you. She has to heal. She has to do the work and she knows it. And her exit has to be smooth on her and the children. So you can go chill with the boys. Go distress in the streets. You're gonna learn. You're gonna learn, my guys. Stop being dickheads to these women. Treat these women with respect. And you're also gonna get respect from them. They will submit if you treat them like human beings. But if you treat them like a scrub lap, your day is coming. And it's not because they're plotting revenge. I told you, best revenge is your paper. Best revenge is your revenge body. Best revenge is your, education. Best revenge is your career. And in doing all those things, fixing yourself, you don't have to do revenge. The revenge just does it itself. You don't have to have a dark heart, ladies. You are capable. You are the biggest. Wandol. And you are the biggest because you know how to make babies inside of you. Men can't do that. So you can only imagine how great you really are. You just need to know that. I don't have to tell you this. You look in the mirror and say, I am great. I'm the biggest. Don't let that man put you down, make you feel like shit. Because he can get a younger girl. He can get a younger guy too. You can do anything he can do and 10 times better. Did you know that? Did you know that? Did you know that? I hope you know that. Right, anyway, best of luck to that lady. I feel so bad for her. If you guys haven't already, please do. Oh, that's another thing, ladies, about not having female acquaintances and friends that can whisper in your ear and say, girl, no, come on. Your man can't be your everything. You need to have other people of sound mind, that can help you out make these decisions. But also, take everything to the Lord in prayer. He's the best friend you'll ever have. And he'll show you the truth. He really will. Don't be a pick-me, because these niggas are not picking you. They picking the skanks and the hoes, and you're not that. Even the skanks and the hoes go through you're fine. And I trash. Not all of them. Anyway, if you guys haven't already, please do like, share, and subscribe to my channel. And if you guys do enjoy my videos, please do click on the thank you button. And please drop me a comment on your way out of here. All right. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.